Live from Moorbook, this is Saturday Night Review. Yeah, we just watched Saturday Night 2024. There's a lot of stuff I like about it, like technically and production wise. I'm really big on like Boogie Nights, that kind of like, 70s filmmaking when you got like the crazy blocking. Production wise, how the film looks, how it feels, it's great. It's tough because you got a lot of actors playing real people, right? And I think most of the impressions are really good. Sometimes I think the impression just kind of becomes like, I don't want to say it gets annoying, but it's like there's really nothing else past just a pretty good impression, if that makes sense. Like I don't really connect with this certain characters. It's just kind of like, oh, I can kind of do a thing, and then that's it. Didn't happen a lot, but here and there. It wasn't very funny to me overall. Like there were some moments where I was like, okay, I recognize that skit. They're doing it, and it actually happened like it was a real skit that they premiered in the first one. Like I saw the parallels. That was like impressive, and I expected that. But for the most part, like a lot of the asides with some of the characters, like, oh, it's kind of, let's see how quirky the cast is and how like goofy people are. Like those moments, I didn't really find them very funny. Tonally, in that respect, kind of got that vibe from the trailer. That was kind of what I expected. Again, production wise, it was great. I should know his name, but the dude that played Chevy Chase, fucking awesome. Billy Crystal, the actor that played Billy Crystal, was great. The dude that looks like young Philip Seymour Hoffman that was in Licorice Pizza, he has a good part, and he has like an explosive scene where like he gets loud, and it's like he's actually acting, not just being loud. I probably wouldn't see it again though. I would probably give it 5.5, maybe 6.
I enjoyed it. I enjoy this movie. It's been on my list for a little bit. I'm always a sucker for any movie that's shot on film. Like you were saying, technical aspects are amazing. There's a lot of like oneers in this, but like there's a lot of technical things that are very impressive if you just give them any sort of thought. I agree as well that the trailers made it seem like, oh yeah, I'll be like a comedy, but no, this is a love letter to just that cast and that night of Saturday night. I think the comedy just comes from these people and just kind of the comedic elements that happen just naturally during the night. Of course, I'm sure a lot of this was embellished, or maybe it wasn't. A lot of Birdman vibes, a lot of just like the constantly moving, the momentum of this movie is just constantly going. It slows down when it needs to. I think that's probably where like embellishments are, of just like, hey, let's have a dramatic moment here, dramatic moment there. I wasn't expecting it to be funny, I guess, per se. Like I understood it was going to be maybe factual, but also maybe just like, hey, here's just what a series of events that happened on that night, and maybe there are some comical elements in that. I wouldn't go that low. I would say I'd maybe give it like a 6 or a 7. I mean, hell, the technical aspect alone is pretty impressive. And the Muppets were mentioned, which is cool. Is it a gay movie? It's a 70s, so like they were all gay. But this movie specifically, no, not really a gay movie.
I mostly agree. Like, I think the blocking, like, just overall, the technical aspects of the movie is really good. It's just, I was definitely the wrong audience for this movie. Like, I think if I was really into, like, the history of, like, Saturday Night Live and into, like, Saturday Night, like, Night Live, I would really like this movie. Like, it's just a genuine, like, love letter, just a larger-than-life retelling of, like, the first night. And I think it does that very well. Like, I don't know a lot of the, like, who they're supposed to be, like, impersonating, but I did get it, like, from a lot of performances, like, oh, I'm this character, this is what I do. And to be fair, a lot of characters were just minor roles that they're just to be like, oh, it's that guy. So I kind of get that. Again, because I'm completely the wrong audience, I would have to give it like a fucking 5.5 or 6 out of 10. Like I don't get any of the references. I don't find it funny. But like, I mean, all in all, like the energy of the movie, very Birdman-esque. If I was into Saturday Night Live, it'd probably be like a fucking 7 or 8 out of 10. Like it's just, it was a good movie. You can tell there's like a lot of like energy and heart put into it. Just again, I was not the right person to watch this.
It wasn't like I saw a trailer and I was like, oh, that's going to be funny. Like I knew it was going to be more serious, but
Yeah.
there were moments where like they tried to have characters do like, oh, what's this? What's that? Like quirky thing.
Oh,
And it
true.
wasn't-
Yeah.
And almost zero times was it funny. But like it definitely meant for like something. Maybe not a huge laugh, but like that was the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but then there were more subtle times where like they was funny, usually happening because they did stuff verbatim based on the actual sketches.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, that was good. The other times were just like, okay, you're just trying to make so and so look quirky. Maybe they were like that behind the scenes, but it wasn't funny to me. So, and because that was the bulk of it, because a lot of it's just kind of them running around saying, hey, what do you think of this? That was kind of like,
Well, something is also funny is just because, like, at this point, we know Chevy Chase, notoriously an asshole, and it's funny that this movie does that. It's like he's like younger Chevy Chase, but he's still throughout this movie just kind of just a jerk throughout the whole movie, which is great. Like, I guess that's a weird part is like we're kind of you're judging caricatures of these people. Yeah. But with that being said, it's caricatures that are at least what I know of are just like have been proven with evidence that no, they're just this is who they are. God, I think honestly the one that was like very interesting to me was John Belushi. John Belushi was crazy. I was very impressed with John Belushi in this movie.
What did you think of Jim Henson? Because you probably know more about him.
I
Than
do.
Me.
I do.
He seemed. I
So the first Muppet
Yeah.
sketch in Saturday Night is not great. It's not a great sketch at all. Did Jim want like the Muppets to be? I'd say this is a very stereotypical Jim.
That's what I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
you made him.
This
they
wasn't
kind of
like
shat on him.
yeah.
And, like,
this
the
wasn't the
ending-
way Jim. Sorry, I'm the resident Muppet head. Hi. I don't think Jim. I mean, the first thing like what Jim wanted to do with the Muppets was Jim wanted the Muppets to be more adult, and yeah, they got the Muppets for the first episode of Saturday Night Live, and they treat him again. They treat him like a Mister Rogers-esque character. Like they treat him just like a.
Or I guess like the way the guy
I
plays
can't-
him.
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, you
Yeah.
gotta make sure the Muppets are respected. It's
Mhm.
like that's fine.
I guess what I'm trying to say, like, that's one thing where it's like
That's the
everyone
saying.
was
It's
really
like there's
good.
these
Yeah,
stereotype and like caricatures of all of these people. It seems like they took who they knew. They were like, hey, these are your core. This is the heart of your movie. Let's maybe not embarrass them. And then they went, okay, but here's the rest of the cast that we can kind of just do wacky things with. Which you are correct. Is like sometimes there were moments of just like, hey, I'm being real serious right now. By the way, it's a cool shirt. It's like that's like that. It's like that type of comedy where yeah. I'd still again. I think just on the technical aspect alone, and just because I really like movies shot on film, I still like would give it like a 6 or a 7. You know what? Fine, 6.5. There I am. There you go.